Okay, so I am ready to screen print my t-shirt. I've got my screen, my fabric ink, my squeegee, palette knife. I've got the stencil that I cut, my t-shirt, and some masking tape. What I'm going to do is first I'm going to put my stencil onto my screen, and I'm going to use masking tape to tape it in place. Part of the reason that I'm going to do this is it holds the stencil in place while I'm getting everything set up, but more importantly, it masks off the rest of the screen so that I don't get ink squeezing through the little gaps at the end of the stencil, because my screen is larger than my stencil. So my screen is all prepped and ready to go. I'm going to put a piece of scrap paper inside of my t-shirt. That way ink doesn't go through the t-shirt and print to the other side. So now I'm going to take my screen and I'm going to put it on top of my t-shirt, line it up right where I want it to be. I'm going to open up my jar of fabric inks, use my palette knife to scoop out just a little bit of ink, and I want to put just a line of ink along one side. So now what I'm going to do is with one hand I'm going to hold my screen in place, and with the other hand I'm going to use my squeegee to drag the ink across. What I want to do is push the ink through the screen, through the holes in my stencil, onto the t-shirt. I should be able to see my design as I'm going. If I've got extra ink piled up on the end of the squeegee, I sort of wipe it off and then spread it across. I usually want to make a couple of passes to make sure I've gotten the ink through all of the holes. I should be able to see my design nice and clearly. If it looks smooth like this, that's a sign of a problem. That's a sign that I'm not pressing hard enough. It's not going through the stencil. The ink is just sliding around on top of the screen. I should be able to see my design. Now I set aside my squeegee. I'm going to very carefully, with one hand I'm holding down my t-shirt, the other hand I'm carefully peeling off my screen so that I don't smear the ink as I go.